Welcome back for another video. Next up in the preseason series, who are the best differentials this season? Those low owned but high potential gems. You don't have to have a differential in FPL to do well. I always have a couple sprinkled into my team though. Like every week there's higher owned players in FPL that blank, and if you own an alternative at that price point who returns, the upside's massive. It's also possible to go differential with captaincy of course, but only do this if you truly feel that the low owned alternative to the main captain is equally good. That's called free risk in FPL. Let's use Game Week 1 as an example. Haaland is 75% owned currently, so if all of his owners captain him, then he's 150% owned effectively, because all his points are doubled. Bruno is 50% owned currently. If half of those owners captain him, then he's only 75% owned, so half as much. So Bruno captain Game Week 1 against Hull is a big differential in itself versus Haaland captain. Obviously there'll be some triple captains at play as well, so these numbers are just an example. Going no Haaland and no Bruno is the absolute extreme version of differential, but it's very unlikely to work out. That said, in the expert series on this channel last season, there was one manager that gave himself a challenge of going no Salah and no Haaland all season, still finished top 10k. What you don't do is force in a full team of differentials, that won't work. So let's break this shortlist down by positions. We're not going to do keepers, just outfield players today. And don't forget to hit subscribe for daily preseason content to keep you informed. So midfielders first, and the shortlist is Wirtz and Mbeumo, Cunha, Dewsbury and Lafay. One of the biggest mistakes you can make at the start of a season, and I've been guilty of this as well to be fair, is judging a player too much on their first season and letting biases creep in too much. We all think we know what's going on and we're right, but a good FPL manager will constantly adapt to new information and be receptive to forming new opinions. Like there's some players such as Wirtz that's really relevant to in this video. He did okay last season, 9 goal involvements in the league, but we're all waiting for more to come. But just to give you some real world examples, Son signs for Spurs, 5 goal involvements first year, next season 22 involvements, and he sustained top numbers for years and years. Martinelli, not FPL relevant for years, 39 points, then he got 36 and 110, and he follows it up with 198 points. Ødegaard as well in fact, he got 40 points and 131, and then he suddenly follows it up with 212 and becomes an absolute staple FPL pick that year. Gordon scored 1 goal after signing for Newcastle mid-season, 183 points the next season. Well, how about the best example that there is? Mahrez's first Leicester season, he got 99 points. He got 4 goals, 3 assists. Next year, 240 points of 28 goal involvements. So you get the point. Things change fast in FPL and football. And what was the case last season isn't anymore for a lot of players. 7.5 mil is a generous price, and he could outscore the more popular Szoboszlai for all we know. Mbeumo and Cunha are just over 10%, so they aren't technically differential, but that is extremely low owned for their upside, especially considering they've got the 2 best opening fixtures of any teams. So you could pair them with Bruno even to maximise the upside. Maybe they link up, you get a Bruno goal and Mbeumo assist. Or you could go no Bruno and run with Mbeumo and Cunha. Mbeumo's underlying numbers were superior last season, but Cunha's long shots are among the best in the league. I'm wondering how Dorgu's return from injury potentially affects Cunha's minutes. Dorgu's been playing in midfield or down the left, Cunha's position in pre-season, which he did a bit last season as well, up until Dorgu's injury, so Cunha was getting benched a bit. But as it stands, I prefer Mbeumo. Dewsbury comes in cheaper than those other 3, just 6.5 mil. Had a really good season, 15 goal involvements. He actually hauled 4 times last season. He got returns of 12 points, 13, 16 and 13 again. He returned in 12 of the 30 games he started. And lastly, Lafay was someone that I actually owned myself last season. He's on penalties and set pieces. He's nailed on for Sunderland. And Ipswich is a great Game Week 1 fixture. And he's got Fulham home Game Week 2, Brentford away Game Week 3. He's having a great pre-season as well. In the 2 games so far, he scored 3 goals, including against Liverpool. I should just mention, Diarra could be on pens as well. Lebris indicated that they'll pick and choose during games, but we'll have to see if Diarra actually reclaims a spot in the starting 11, having dropped out last season. Where I think Sunderland might struggle this season is juggling the Europa League, having qualified with that 7th place finish last season. We've seen it so many times before where a team has a cracking season, qualifies for Europe, but it's really hard to juggle all those competitions. That begins after, I think it's Game Week 3 or Game Week 4 Europa League, but for 6 million he's a great option. Let's take a look at defenders. The 5 players are Canvo, Hume, Kerkez, Beal and Colwill. So Canvo and Beal are grouped together here, so let's cover those two first. They're kind of similar in the sense that they were phenomenal for defensive contributions last season. Canvo hit DEFCON in 64% of games. That's ranking 3rd best after only the Bournemouth centre-back pairing, Senesi and Hill. Senesi of course at Spurs now, so avoid. It could be a very different story playing at a different club, different manager. In fact, I think it probably will be. Beal was also among the best in the league, 52% hit rate. So those two are more likely than not to get you an extra +2 points last season in any given game. And that's before you factor in the clean sheet potential. Really solid for 5 million, both of them. DEFCON data here is from my scout tables. There's a link below to access that in the description. By the way, at Palace, Mingueza is one player monitoring as well. You've probably never heard of this guy, and to be fair, I hadn't until a few days ago. He's 4.5 mil, and Palace signed him for about 15 mil. He can play centre back or right back. Last pre-season friendly, he played in centre back. He can even play left back as well. Really versatile player. New manager Sage primarily uses a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1 formation, so there'll be some similarities to Glasner's setup in all likelihood. 0.1% owned Mingueza. Hume is the cheapest of the lot here. He's also 4.5 mil. He featured in all 38 Premier League games last season. He was benched 4 times, however. 2 goals, 1 assist. But he's incredibly versatile. Like in those appearances, 10 of them were left back, 17 were right back, and 11 were in right mid or even right wing. He can play in defensive mid and centre back as well. Even more the armband. He's basically vice captain when Xhaka was out for that injury spell. He's been playing right wing out of position in pre-season as well last game. A distant memory now, but I'm sure Sunderland fans won't have forgotten. In Game Week 38 last season, that was one of those games where he played in right wing, one of the 11 matches, and he scored to put Sunderland ahead, and they won the game. The only caveat is he's not really first choice in any position, but Lebris really rates him enough to ensure that he's starting basically every game. Just keep an eye out whether Sunderland sign a right winger. If they do, that could make him a little bit risky, because there could be some serious competition there. And lastly, Kerkez, who, let's not forget, earned his move to Liverpool after a fantastic season at Bournemouth under Areola, who is now, of course, in charge of Liverpool as well, so he knows how to get the best out of him. Robertson's left Liverpool, so Kerkez should be a nailed starter. Looking at the projected clean sheets of all the players here, Liverpool are top as well, which is another reason to consider him. Colwill in second, by the way, he's only 5 mil. He's probably the most reliable, cheap route into Chelsea's defence. I've been very picky with the forwards, and there's only 3 true differentials that I like up top. And if there's any players that you think are missing from this video, do leave a comment below. I do read every comment. The list is Igor Jesus, Osula and Isak. So let's talk about Osula first, only 2.4% owned. In his starts last season, he averaged 6.9 points per 90 compared to the league average 4.6. And one thing that I almost missed is his shirt number change. He wore 18 last season. He's now taken the number 10 shirt, so a sign of intent from Newcastle. He had a great end to last season, and Newcastle's fixtures are amazing after the first couple of game weeks. There is a slight doubt over his minutes, like could we see some early substitutions? Igor Jesus has scored in all 3 pre-season games for Forest, and he starts the season home to Leeds. He's also 6 mil. Just based on the more secure minutes, I currently favour him over Osula. Minutes for me are a big factor when selecting an FPL player. Osula will be better, I expect, if he gets, loads of 90 minutes or thereabouts, but that's currently unclear. I mean, Igor Jesus is not immune to an early sub either, but I think he'll get much better minutes most likely. He and Wood, by the way, have been lining up together in pre-season, and we saw that at times last season. And you remember that point I made at the start of the video about how things can change fast from one season to the next? Isak is another one. 9 million is on the steep side, obviously, but if you go back the year before, 29 goal involvements, the year before 25 goal involvements. That's what he's capable of, and he just needs a good injury-free run. Ekitike, of course, sidelined for the rest of the year, so Isak's minutes should be fantastic as well. Solanke is the last one worth a mention. I'm not quite there yet sold on him, but 6 million is extremely low. I mean, these videos, after all, are just one man's opinion. You might disagree with some of the suggestions, or maybe some players excluded at times. And lastly, I wanted to include a few quick honourable mentions. So basically, these players have got question marks over them as it stands, but things could change, making them a very, very good pick. So Garner, currently injured, has had surgery, he's back around game week 1, and if he is back in time before game week 1 to start the first game, I think he's an awesome pick. Top scoring 6 million and under player last season. And only Anderson and Ampadu hit DEFCON more frequently per start. Garner hit DEFCON in 52.6% of games. Bruno G, heavily linked with a move to Arsenal, but if it doesn't happen, he's a fantastic pick for 7 mil. Potentially even on penalties as well after Gordon leaving. Great fixtures long term. And Gross. So Welbeck's being linked with a move to Chelsea. Potential pen share there if that move happens. He's actually not a bad pick at 5.5 mil, even if that move doesn't happen, but another thing to mention there. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button below for daily preseason content to keep you up to date and informed. I'll see you soon for the next one.